Pastor Roy Gerhart from Galloway United Methodist Church in Franklin, Pennsylvania, sharing a few words of encouragement to help us follow after Jesus. This week we've been looking at the life of Mephibosheth and the way in which David blessed him in such an unexpected way that it gives to us a picture of God's grace, reaching out to a man who is broken, who is lost, who is living in fear, who is really at a low point in life. And David raised him up and blessed him. And this is the way that God reaches us, even at our low point in our life. Remember that Mephibosheth was living in a place called Lo-Debar. And Lo-Debar means like no pasture, which is a pretty telling kind of description that if you live based on livestock and there's no good pasture there, well, this is going to be a terrible place to live. It's going to be void of fruitfulness, of benefits, and of profitability. I mean, it's just not going to be a good place to live. You're not going to thrive there. It's this low point then for Mephibosheth in his life to be at Lo-Debar. Where's your Lo-Debar? Where's the low point of your life? You might even think about it like Lo-Debar is like, where's the low bar in your life? Where's that low point where you have sunk deeply down to that lowest point where God has reached you, or you desperately need God to reach you? For some people, they've discovered that reaching bottom is not the worst thing in the world that can happen to them. Many people who have battled with addictions have come to recognize that they had to hit bottom, as we say it. And that means that they had to hit a point where they were so low that they would go no lower, and that they couldn't continue then any longer to pursue the path that they were on. That was the low point. And that's the real key thing to recognize about the low bar, is that it can be the bottom point from which you go up. And many people have discovered that. When they hit that point where they have really landed at bottom, it's the point at which they reject their old life. They reject the addiction, they reject the practices that they've been pursuing, they reject the sin of their life, and they turn to God. They reject continuing to insist on having their own way and become humbled and begin to pursue the Lord who raises them up, just as David raised up Mephibosheth. Because there at his low point is where David found him, brought him out of it into a place of blessing, of privilege, and of fruitfulness. And this put him in a whole kind of space in life that he never expected. He never thought he would be able to really see himself sitting at the king's table, being able to have a peace and a contentment in his life, that the very one that he had feared would come and kill him as a rival for the throne was the one who was raising him up and seating him at his table and making him just a ward of his blessing. That's what God can do for you and me. Think about that Lo-Debar. Have you hit that bottom point where you looked at your life and you said, I can't continue down that path. I have to turn. I have to make this turnaround in my life and turn there to God. Remember that in AA that they look to a higher power. There's a recognition that all of us, to make that kind of turnaround, need outside support. We need family and friends. We need community around us. That's why the Lord put us together as the church, to be all of that for each other. But there's a recognition in that we need a higher power that even stretches from beyond this world. We need a supernatural, divine power to reach us, to break free of powers that have us in their grip. And that is the power that breaks us free, not only of addictions, but of all kinds of sin in our life, that turns our lives around from Lo-Debar to rising up in the holiness the purity and the goodness of God as people who know that we are no longer lost but loved. May God bless you today. And as you share his good news, may God make you a blessing wherever he takes you.